Welcome to A Pinch of Basile, bringing the most entertaining guests, news stories, and with just a touch of comedy. Now here's everyone's favorite Greek, Basil.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good evening here on the East Coast. Afternoon for those of you on the West Coast, and especially listening over in the greater Reno, Nevada area. God bless you. Hey, this is Basil, your favorite spice of life. That's right, Rosemary and Herb's son. I'm here today with all of you. I got to tell you, it's so glad to be with you, and I'm glad that you guys have joined us. You can always catch me on Facebook, and I want to thank you all for joining me on Facebook. It's a great way to see your responses, but don't forget, you can call in any time you want during this show, even when we have Brian on a little bit, at 844-790-8255. We're still working out the kinks. Listen, folks, it's not an exact science, and I want to hear all your sides of the conversation that come in. So our engineer, Craig, the masterful one, is doing everything he can technically to make this thing happen. Patience, he says, but I'm not the most patient person in the world. I got to admit, I'm very impatient. I don't even want to. I hate shaving, because I just want it to be done. I hate shaving. My hair, listen, I got more mousse in my hair than Bullwinkle, and I'm telling you, I just don't have the patience for things to be perfect. So in the meantime, we're here. We're live. I hope you are enjoying the show. And I'm here with my co-host, the woman who I love, the second wife that we never discuss because I can't afford her. Ladies and gentlemen, Janice Hermson. How are you, Janice?
I am doing awesome. How are you today?
Good. I'm excited. I'll tell you what, it's been a long time in the making, but we're going to get a chance to actually have Brian on the show with us. Brian Shirley, he'll be coming on, author, comedian. God, I think he's got a few books under his belt right now, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
So that's very, very, very cool. And for those of you listening, or if you are on Basile Fans, that's Basile. And for all of you who are listening right now, you can go to Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I have the same exact handle, Basile Fans, BASILEFANS, Basile Fans, all together one word. You can always catch us at basillive.com. And also, if you want to email a personal request or whatever, you can always get a hold of me at info, that's INFO, at basillive, BASILELIVE.com. Always get a hold of us. Again, please call us, 844-790-8255. For any of your questions, come on the air live with us. And to be honest with you, I'm kind of excited, too. You know why? Ask me, Janice. Ask me, why are you excited?
Hey, Basil, how come you're so excited? What's going on?
Well, listen, on Friday night, Washington, D.C., Annapolis, and Baltimore areas. Listen, folks, it's going to be Basil in concert. That's right. Basil, Dysfunctionally Yours. This is my general audience show that we do. I'm going to be at the world-famous Ram's Head on Stage in Annapolis, Maryland, Friday night. Basil, Dysfunctionally Yours World Tour. Come join me. I want to tear this place a new one. This is one of those clubs that is like such a wonderful place to work. It's got such a vast history. And I got to be honest with you, too. I got all the midshipmen coming into town. They're already there. I'm excited to entertain for them, and also all the naval and marine staff and all military staff that comes through there and their families. And, hey, it's going to be a great show. If you want to come, Jim McCall right now, go 410-501-5840. Again, 410-501-5840. And then the other thing is, too, August 31st through September 2nd, I'm doing the Pan-Icarian National Convention. And this is the oldest Greek organization in North America. The oldest. It's over 100 years old, and they are the second largest. And the AHEPA, my brothers of the AHEPA, the American Hellenic Educational Progressive Association, they are wonderful. They are the largest and second oldest. So it's great to be. Go to ahepa.org, and there's so many great organizations within that they do so much great works. And September 8th, I'll be in Clearwater, Florida at Holy Trinity Greek Orthodox Church doing my Greek stand-up. That's right, my Greek stand-up. So I do my show in Greek, do it in English. It's a lot of fun. So I want to make sure that you guys catch us and do that. And then follow me, like I said, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Basile Fans. So what's going on, Janice?
Oh, my goodness. We have so much happening. You know, it is really getting nicer out here in the Reno, Nevada area, I'm so happy to say. And I think it's time for us to hit the crazy news, yes? Is that what we're going to do?
Oh, my God. I think the crazy news would be unbelievable because I want to let these people know exactly where our tax dollars are going. This has been something that has been researched by MIT, Massachusetts. What is it? MIT? What is the acronym? MIT, Massachusetts
Institute of Technology.
There you go.
My God, that was God speaking. Did you hear
was
that?
God. I heard him.
My God, God actually knows about MIT. These people have been doing studies. Go ahead and let them know a little bit about this, Janice.
Oh, okay. You want me to do this, huh?
No,
this is great because we got some folks that have a sense of humor on your Facebook. Apparently, they are not hearing us yet, Craig. So if you could,
that's why I gave you the 1 minute signal.
Okay.
I'm trying to.
All right. In the meantime, let's talk about spaghetti. Do you like to eat spaghetti?
Love me my pasta. Love me my pasta.
Have you ever tried to break spaghetti exactly in half?
A lot of people don't know this is one of my hobbies. I've been doing this for years. That and walking around in duck shoes, naked, just naked in duck shoes. That, yes, of course. Who hasn't tried to break it in half and been exactly perfect?
Yeah. So, they study physics. They brush up against some of the universe's largest mysteries, right? What became of the Big Bang? What lies inside a black hole? Is it possible to break a stick of dry spaghetti into exactly two pieces? That's one of the big questions in the world, right?
And we will get right back to that at our next segment. But right now, hey, you're listening to A Pinch of Basile.
This is America Matters Media on AM 1180 KCKQ,
A Lotus broadcast station.
the power of radio since 1967.
Oh, we are back. We are back. Yeah, baby.
We're half back.
We're half back?
We're half back. We're back.
We're back.
We're back. We've got sound, but everybody needs to know that we are only going to have the picture of you, the lovely mug, pinching your face right now on
is
Facebook.
That right?
Yeah, on Facebook.
Okay.
Okay. So
It's the logo.
It's the logo, yes, for Pinch of Basile.
Well, it's okay. Are we having technical difficulties again?
Yeah, well, those things happen. We're new at this. What can I tell you?
Well, we're trying to do something, again, a little progressive because, again, we have people listening from Australia. We have people listening from South Africa. We have people listening all throughout Europe, the United States, and, of course, Canada, South America. So, I heard Santa was watching and the elves, huge fans. The elves, they're making the toys. They're checking the list. They're making sure everybody was nice this summer. And to be honest with you, I'm just so blessed that we have Santa actually looking on and being one of my fans on there. And I love that stuff.
And not only that, without the elves, you got nothing.
Yeah, but hasn't it always been left to the little people
That's
to
right.
make the world go round?
That's right. That's the way it works.
The little people, I kill me. Oh my God! All right, so listen, Jan. What we got to do, we got to get back to this story a little bit because I think I cut you. I messed you up a little bit.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I'm used to being interrupted. I'm a woman, right?
Wow! Really? You're gonna throw that one at me?
Absolutely.
Okay. Oh, my wife and kids will probably agree with it anyway. It doesn't matter. Hey, let me ask you a question, Jan. Can people still call in if they want to at that 844-790-8255 if they want to talk?
Absolutely, and we would love for them to call and chat with us.
Absolutely, we would. But right now, I got to be honest with you. Are we done with that spaghetti story? Because
we have to finish it because they did finally, these studies at MIT, they're very important, right?
Of course.
And initially they came up dry, so to speak. This guy's got a sense of humor, right? But finally, a new study published on Monday, August 13th of this year, they came to some closure. To prevent bent spaghetti from splintering into a half a dozen pieces, the researchers wrote, one end of the pasta first has to be twisted nearly 360 degrees. Can you believe that? Yeah, that's how it's done.
So someone actually worked this out.
They did. They broke more than 350 sticks of, and I'm going to massacre this, Barilla, I don't know, brand spaghetti, and filmed the resulting fractures with an ultra-high-speed camera. That's just crazy. That's what we spend our money on.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that my tax dollars are going somewhere, important. Screw education and daughters' tuitions and stuff like that. No. We need to find out about how to break spaghetti in half.
Yeah.
Okay.
Real important.
Absolutely. This was a story, I got to tell you.
Well, we have to have cheese on the spaghetti.
Naturally. Very good segue. And speaking of cheese, world's oldest cheese was found in an Egyptian tomb. All right, now I got to read this to you. The tomb, how would you pronounce this? Is it Patames?
Sure, that sounds good. I'm glad you took this one and not me.
Oh, good. The tomb of Patames. He was the mayor of Memphis. No, not Memphis, Tennessee.
Not Tennessee.
Memphis, Egypt, during the 13th century before Christ, BC, was initially unearthed in 1885 after being lost under drifting sands. It was also rediscovered in 2010. Archaeologists found the broken jars at the site a few years later. One jar contained a solidified whitish mass, as well as a canvas fabric that might have covered the jar or had been used to preserve its contents. Now, the characteristics of the canvas fabric, which indicates that it was suitable for containing a solid rather than a liquid, and the absence of other specific markers support the conclusion that the dairy product was solid cheese. And actually, the smell, from what I heard, was horrific.
Yeah.
And that's where you get the phrase, okay, guys, who cut the cheese?
Oh.
Yeah, even back then. Okay, really? Are you going to give me an aw for that one?
I'm going to give you an aw for that one. I just can't believe that. You really did that, huh?
Yeah, I had to go there, and but I love even the mummies used to go fromage. Okay, that's the way my imitation of a mummy from all the movies that I watched. Anyway, let me see, 30%. But what else we got here?
Do you really watch a lot of movies?
I do.
Okay. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, I do.
Well, when we talk to Brian later, you'll have to ask him about films then, and maybe you can share some of your insights. That'll be fun. That'll be interesting.
My take on movies, I mean, I love good classic, gangster movies. I've always have. Once Upon a Time in America, a great movie to me. I thought it was always fantastic. Goodfellas, of course, is just, unbelievable. The Godfather was, the epitome of all. To me, it's always been great. But here is, speaking of Goodfellas and the heists that they used to make.
Oh, you're not going to let me tell my story about the ants? You're going to take it away?
What?
You forgot.
No, I forgot. Go. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I'm sorry, because I got really excited.
I know. You just went. Wow.
I know. Because I'm an ass. All right, go ahead.
Well, you know how. Well, you said it, not I. So you know how usually they say that. What is it? 20% of the people do 80% of the work. Isn't that how that goes?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. More research here. And I was into science this week. More workers working might not get more work done. Ants and robots show. So ants and robots, yes. 30% of the ant workers do 70% of the work. So for ants and robots operating in confined spaces like tunnels, having more workers does not necessarily mean getting more work done. Can you see these guys like sitting there watching these ants and counting them and seeing how many, and this is crazy. Why do our scientists do this? Is this really important? We all know that too many cooks in a kitchen get in each other's way, right?
I think it is very, very important. And the surprising thing is what I heard was One of the ants was actually killed trying to unionize the other ants, the hardworking ants, and was surprisingly killed by the queen, who would not hear of any type of a union going down.
Now, Basil,
and,
I was
yes.
certain we were not going to do politics on this show.
Come on. That was funny. It was a union.
It was
ant,
good.
for God's
It was
sake.
good. It was good. But I had to just throw that in, you know?
Oh my God, that is unbelievable. Someone to actually have to count that. But here, can I go to my next story, because I am jonesing for this story.
All right, go ahead.
All right, a ramen.
Because we didn't talk about the robots, but that's okay. We'll talk about them later.
Oh well, you know what? Listen, I love robots. They do all the work and stuff. You can't unionize a robot.
That's true. That's true.
You can't unionize a robot. But there was a ramen noodle heist in Georgia. A ramen noodle heist. How much is a packet of ramen noodles these days?
Oh, I don't know. $1, $2? No.
Do you think?
About 20 cents.
20 cents?
20 cents each package, yeah. You can buy a whole 24-pack for about...
you can see I don't eat ramen noodles.
About $2.50. $2.60.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
The suspect...
They're carbs, baby. I don't eat carbs.
Oh, yeah, God forbid we eat... That's it. This is what kids eat. Listen, for all of you kids who are listening right now who are going to college, you know that the main source of food is ramen noodles. And ramen noodles ain't worth a damn unless you got that beautiful little package of cheese dust that you can put in there. Now, I love cheese dust. It's like a whiz, cheese whiz. Dried cheese whiz. You put it on there, mix it up. That's a meal and a half right there. You want to crumble up some feta in that bad boy? Have yourself some Greek-style ramen noodles? That's a meal right there. That's all I'm saying. But they actually, I can't find the rest of this story where it says Fayette County deputies are investigating a string of thefts, including 5 car break-ins, 1 stolen motorcycle, and a high-dollar heist of ramen noodles. A high dollar. The hell kind of high dollar? I heard the whole thing, the whole truck was worth $73.28.
I don't think so.
Are you kidding me? That could feed half of China right there, baby. I'm telling you right now. Love my ramen noodles. I'm telling you. Oh my gosh. This is it. What else we have? Anything else before we have to go?
No, but did you not see the rest of that story? Seriously?
I actually, you know what? I was looking for it, and I did not. What was the rest of the story?
The $100,000 worth of ramen noodles was sitting in a large trailer parked at a Chevron store. You didn't print out the last page. On Georgia Highway 85 North. That's kind of near you, right? Deputies said the 53-foot trailer carrying the noodle freight was stolen between July 25th and August 1st. And the only thing they said was that the sheriff said the trailer was secured at the time. That was the end of the story. I was like, really? That's it, huh? $100,000 worth. How many packets is that? That's
okay, let's break it down. 20 cents per packet. Is that what we came up with, Craig?
Yeah, that's
20 cents per packet.
Yeah, roughly 20 cents per packet.
Yep.
All right, so how many packets would have to equate? We're going to get back to that because I'm very curious. 20 cents, that means 5 packets equals $1. Okay, so 5 times 100,000.
That's 500,000 packets.
You have a poor college Greek student that says that that ramen is her main food.
There you go. You think I'm joking? I know what goes on. Oh my God, this is ridiculous. This is hysterical. I love you guys. I really do. But listen, it is close to that time again, folks. I got to tell you, I hate doing this, but we have no choice. We got to go ahead into our next little break very, very, very shortly. But I want to tell you, and I'm looking around for my little closing remarks here, and I can't find my little closing remarks. That's just going crazy. Oh, here we go. All right, listen, here we go. I got 12 seconds left, and I want to tell you, we are going to be back in a little bit. Don't go away. We got some messages from our sponsors. I love you guys.
This is America Matters Media on AM 1180 KCKQ.
A Lotus broadcast station.
The power of radio since 1967.
back on A Pinch of Basile. Don't forget, I am streaming this, well, somewhat. You're seeing my mug on the Facebook right now. Go to my Basile fans page, and you can comment if you have any questions, and give us a call. Give us a call at 844-790-8255. Again, you're listening to A Pinch of Basile, and I got to be honest with you, folks. This is a guy who I'm going to be introducing to you. I've actually, I guess Brian and I have been knowing each other for about 5-6 years. And I'm just going to give a quick, Brian, just give me a second. I got to give you the quick rundown here. Brian T. Shirley has the look of Don Rickles. Oh, very attractive. The comedy of George Carlin with a touch of Robin Williams. Then you roll it all together. It's pure and unique and something only Brian T. Shirley can deliver. Brian has toured the U.S., Canada, the Bahamas, Japan for 25 years. And I've heard his name all those years, playing comedy clubs, resorts, cruises, military installations. Brian takes videos as he travels to clubs and resorts. He actually, the author of A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Club, which is out right now. Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Club portrays a little-known side of stand-up comedy. Road dogs, which I am one, comics who run the road along with their thing, driving from one end of the country to the other. Take a ride on the comedy bus with comedian Brian T. Shirley. See what happens off stage during the hours, days, and sometimes weeks on a road dog tour. Make love, not warts, which is great. Okay. 4-7 beers ago, my kind of book. And I guess we can go through some of the other stuff. But ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Mr. Brian T. Shirley. Brian, how are you, brother?
I am doing good. It is good to be on your show, A Pinch of Basile.
Hey, man.
Guess you returned the favor.
No, not a problem at all. I got to tell you, you and I have talked a few times on the phone. We've communicated back and forth, and it's actually pretty cool to actually sit there and talk a little bit. What's going on? What's happening?
Well, I want to thank you for the cheese update, first of all. That was incredible. I didn't know all that about cheese and ramen noodles and all those other things. And food is very universal. As you know, back when we were first performing together, I did a spam bit in my show, and several times decided to drop it, but it was like, Scarface. Every time I try to get rid of it, they bring me back in, no, I'm sorry, that's Godfather. This is why I'm bringing this up, is because when you talk about the cheese and everything, it just reminded me of this. And I just happen to think, when you're doing jokes on stage and you're trying to reach everybody, if you can do something about food in your act, man, that is just universal. I was doing this little birthday party in St. Helena, South Carolina, Saturday night. Beautiful area, out on the islands. It's nothing but islands out there, Lady Island, Fripp Island, all that. And I went into the spam thing, and of course, these are rednecks, Basil, and they wouldn't mind me saying that. They're the ones that told me that. But, man, when I started bringing up the spam, they went crazy. We love spam. She was going nuts, and I was going, well, okay, relax. And she's like, they got 5 different kinds now. That excites people. I said, that'll turn a redneck around walking down the aisle of the grocery store. He sees 5 different. He turns around. He's like, "Holy moly! They got blackened spam now." I'm like, "You know what blackened spam is? That's just somebody that burnt it and couldn't cook good. That's what blackened spam is." You got that right. This stuff any way they can.
You got that right. There's no two ways about it. If you like spam, man, I'll tell you what, after a while, I just don't care for it. I don't care. But it's pork shoulder. That's delicious. I'm just going to say no. Give me a steak. Right. Give me something like that. I can eat a steak. I can eat some fish. I can eat. But, people say, well, you eat hot dogs, right? And I say, yeah, well, that's the stuff that no one wants to eat. And I said, well, yeah, I can eat that. Pork shoulder, not so much. I really can't.
I got it. It's got to be low sodium stuff, and spam has more sodium content than the Dead Sea. That's why I can't touch it anymore. And it's just not healthy. But they've got Spam Light now. But the only difference between that and regular spam is if you eat Spam Light all your life, as opposed to eat regular spam, you will live 45 minutes longer because you ate Spam Lights. I mean, that's the only difference right there. But
and that's a gift from God.
You were talking
right there.
Yes. Oh, God gave them the recipe for that.
Yeah.
The books you were talking about, it's funny you bring the books up because I'm in the talks right now with a certain publisher about there's the publisher right there.
Oh, my.
Yeah, we're working on well, both of us are, it's just been a busy year for both of us. But we are working on a fourth book, and it's called My Ship Came In, Then It Sank. And this is a book of inspiration. So we're going to be working on that. I've already gotten some of it to Janice, and it's just a matter of us getting everything taken care of. But yeah, the books. What I found, Basil, is when I did the third book, a funny thing happened on the way to the club. The theory behind that, and this was something the publisher came to me and said they saw the stories on my website, and they said, "Could you put that together in a book?" I said, "Sure." And they gave me a illustrator and everything, and we did it. It's only online, but it's on Amazon and everything. At that time, Nook and Kindle were getting to be big, right? And I don't know if y'all remember this, but back then, you probably do, Janice, because you're in this industry. It was all, you might as well forget about handheld books. It's all going to be computer. And I got to tell you, that was the biggest misspoken thing in the world. People love having something in their hands still to read. And I can tell you that because I write for Janice with the What's the Story publication. I don't know if you've shown any to Basil, Janice, but, man, I bring those to shows with me and give them out, and people love them. I mean, I usually don't leave a show with any once I just show them to people. And so that's one big thing I've learned from writing the books. The biggest sales I get is back of the room sales, Basil, off these books. So once I get them done, I always have them with me because that's where you sell them. I mean, you can try online, but I got to tell you, selling them in the back of the room, that's the way to go. Or, they love being there with the author and you explaining the book to them. And you were talking about films, and I've been getting to that the last couple of years. This year has been the biggest year. I've been in like 3 or 4 student films, short films. I did some of my own. And you're in the same thing, though. I saw you were somewhere filming something. You can't talk about it, but you had just filmed some stuff. I guess was it up in New York? We were actually in Cleveland with Michael Imperioli from The Sopranos. We just finished filming that, and it was very, very, very cool to work with him and Paul Bond and Jeff Blanchard and Timmy was it was just great. We had a fantastic time doing that. But go ahead, finish, man, because I got some questions about the books that I want to get to. As a matter of fact, go ahead, buddy. Well, real quick, I'll just tell you, another thing that I've learned over the past couple of years, getting into the acting and everything, is in between projects, it helps if you create your own content, if you have that kind of mind where you can write sketch comedy or whatever, short piece dramas, horror, whatever. And I wrote something kind of universal. I don't know if this has happened to you, Basil, but a lot of housewives are going to connect with what I'm about to say. How many times has it been that you go to your dryer and you put a pair of socks in there, 2 socks that match, it. But when you go through that laundry, there's only 1 sock. Something happened to that sock, that other sock. You don't have a pair anymore. You only have 1. I did a whole short film about that, Basil. It's called 2 Go In, 1 Comes Out, a sockumentary. And it's about 20 minutes long. I'm serious. Everybody thinks I'm joking. I do this, I talk about the movie on stage. It gets more laughs than my jokes. I actually did it. And, wow. I interview people on the street about it. I have a sockologist that I talk to in the movie. He's a professor of psychology. And there's a lady that has mismatched sock syndrome. She could not wear the same socks because it was, they're always getting lost. So it just affected her really bad. Miss Duglio, she was Italian. But anyway, go ahead and tell me. No, I was going to say, speaking of socks real quick, and Janice,
I'm one of those guys who I try to keep things together, and socks has always been an issue with anyone who is listening and telling you to. So what I did was, Brian, I actually safety pinned 2 socks together. And after the wash and the dryer and all that stuff, one sock came out with the safety pin attached to a note. Note said, "Nice try, see you later, love sock." Okay? So,
well done.
Yeah, you know what? You tried out some damn things. You just can't do it. You just can't do it. I'm telling you, it can't be done. That's all. But books, it's kind of funny. Listen, I love books. I always have loved books. My thing has always been I just don't have time. And being a road dog, and I understand what a road dog is. And for those people who don't know, comedians and musicians drive from point A to point B, and these points could be anywhere from 500 to 700 miles apart, and we do anything just to keep our minds and ears and just our minds cooking. And so I used to get audio books, and I am a huge proponent for audio books. I think they're great, and I tell people, "Why, you're well read?" I said, "No, but I'm well listened." And I do that all the time. I love audio books, and I think they're the greatest thing since sliced bread. I really do mean that. And anytime, and I love, because I do a lot of voice work, and people have asked me in the past, "Hey, do you mind laying down some track for some of these?" And I said, "Sure, not a problem." And I love doing something funny like that, because to me, you can recreate whatever you're doing with the books. But I know exactly how you feel, and I know people how they feel. They want to have that thing in their hand. They want to have that book in their hand. They want to be able to read it. They want to doggy ear it to let them know where they're at. They want to be able to do it. I have written notes on the side of, oh my God, all my college books. I still have them that pertain to my major. I bought them brand new with writing everything on there. But Brian, do me a favor, man. I know you're going to stay with me. I got one more little area to go to, and I got to get this thing, because we got to do that sponsor thing and pay some bills. And we're going to be right back with Brian Shirley and more about his career. So stay tuned here on that wonderful show, Rosemary and Herb's Son, A Pinch of Basile. We'll be right back.
This is America Matters Media on AM 1180 KCKQ, a Lotus broadcast station. The power of radio since 1967.
Hey, we are back. That's right. It's Basil, Herb, and Rosemary's Son, A Pinch of Basile podcast. I'm here with my great guest, Brian T Shirley. We are discussing books. We are discussing film. We are discussing just about everything under the sun. What's going on right now. And Brian, the one thing can we get back to the road, the stories about the road, road dogs, because I was one of them road dogs. And from everything from knowing how to drive the highways up and down, your best communication system as far as the actual I guess intelligence, if you will, that was out there on the highways, is finding out where Smokey was, and whatever the truckers did, you did. If you saw those truckers go from 90 miles an hour to 55, Smokey around the bend someplace. And so their communication system was great. Learned everything I wanted to learn about a Waffle House, and that's all I ate. I mean, I could have been poster child for Waffle House, for God's sakes. And for coffee, I mean, I am a freak for any type of coffee. And and we all learned that from what? For being on the road. And then a lot of people don't know that a lot of comics stay in condos. We refer to them as condos. And we try to cook something.
Right, comedy condos.
Comedy condos. And we try to cook something that was left over by the previous comedians that were there. And I have learned to cook some of the most masterful things I have never thought. You're sitting there and goes, I wonder if maple syrup goes good with baked beans. You damn right it does. So you pour that in there. Absolutely. You got that fixing up. And I'm like, let me see what else we got left. Oh, macaroni and cheese and ketchup. Perfect. Okay. You're sitting there, you're doing it. Because ketchup is a vegetable, according to my favorite president, Ronald Reagan. He said ketchup's a vegetable, though indeed it is. So I started laughing, and I'm like, oh, my God, the things we made from things that we found at the condo, unbelievable. What was your any horror stories about any edible things you found at the condo?
I just know that you didn't eat stuff from the refrigerator until you find out who the comics were before you. The previous week. Because it would be like, don't touch that mayonnaise.
Don't touch it. Don't, not so much. No. And if there was something, you were always safe with something that was sealed and frozen. Always safe there. Maybe. But sometimes you got so bloody hungry because they put these condos in the middle of nowhere. You're like, okay, I'm willing to take a chance. That was the part that was always the no-no. Don't take the chance.
Yeah. I learned to always have Rolaids or Tums with me. That was one of the big lessons. And some sort of aspirin. I always learned keep some. You had to keep some medical supplies with you on the road. I mean, you did. Medicines and stuff.
Bars of soap, because you never want to use the bar of soap that was left from the previous week.
Oh, yeah. True.
Oh, my God, disgusting. Simply disgusting. And how I walked away without any type of actual diseases, I am a very happy boy. You have no idea.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. My wife would never let me bring my show clothes into the house. All my show clothes, to this day, I have to keep in the garage because it either smells like smoke or she does, I don't know where that furniture has been. Do not bring that stuff in this house. And I have to leave everything in the garage. Honest to God. I'm lucky enough where I can wash the damn stuff, for God's sake. So, my God. Hey, are you married, Brian?
No, I've been single all this time, and I think part of it is because of, just what I do. I mean, folks, sometimes you get lucky and you find a woman that'll, she's got her own career or whatever, so she can kind of put up with, you being gone. But I haven't lucked into that, and, obviously it gets tougher as you get older, too, because I don't really stay out and party like I used to. Nowadays, it's, do the show and go back or, relax. Because I think people don't understand, but after you drive all day, you get there at 7 o'clock, you change real quick, get to the club at 8, and, hey, you're on stage half an hour after you arrive. And after that, it's like, let me get back to the hotel.
Yeah, no one really understands. No one really understands. I mean, I'm kind of fortunate where I can actually go if I do a tour. If I'm in Australia and do a tour, or if I'm in South Africa and do a tour, or throughout Europe, maybe from point A to Z, it's nice where you kind of get catered to. Back in the old days, it was very, very tough. A lot of people don't understand just how tough it was to be a stand-up comedian. And I can tell you this, I really don't go into this, but you being a comic really understands. And, people just think, oh, we just get up on stage, we do nothing all day. We try and write and make phone calls to agents and try and get ourselves booked and then go from point A to point B. And then you're trying to do your stand-up, wondering if you did okay. Did you get T-shirts to sell and DVDs to sell and all that? It is a job. It is a thankless job sometimes. My father was going, okay, let me get this right. You prepared yourself to become a lawyer all these years, and then you decided that you want to be a comedian. Oh, stop. You're killing me. Okay, so I would sit there.
So you did a good job, huh, Basil?
Oh, yeah. If I were my dad, I would have killed me. I would have killed me if I were my dad. Or then my dad would sit there, he'd see me walk into the airport. And he was taking me to the airport. He decided to come in for a cup of coffee with me. And everyone, hey, Basil, hey, Basil, hey, Basil, hey, Basil, what's going on? Hey, Basil. And next thing you know, my father goes, this life is disgusting. This is not good that everyone at the airport know you. Security know you. The people at the counter know you. This is not the life. Why don't you own a restaurant? Yeah, because I can have a normal life with a restaurant. Sure, that would be perfect. Stay there 20 hours a week. Yeah, not a problem whatsoever. So, oh my God. So what's up next, man? What do you got coming up next, Brian?
I'm doing a show this Saturday at Uwharrie Vineyards. It's a winery up in Albemarle, North Carolina, right close to Charlotte, and this is the third year in a row. They have me back every year after this. I don't know, because I have to keep changing my show up, obviously. But yeah, I'm excited to go back up there. I haven't been doing a lot of clubs, to be honest with you, Basil. I've been doing a lot of corporate, private stuff, country clubs. Yeah, it's changed. The game has changed now, and you know that. So, you got to change with it. And, of course, I did something stupid. I decided, well, it isn't hard enough just being a comedian. I think I'm going to double up and be an actor, too, and really make it hard. So that's the transition that I'm going through right now.
Why don't you do it on
so that's
another
reason why,
If you could just do all that, Brian, just hopping on one foot and maybe juggle a little bit at the same time, and then put yourself under some time constraints so you can really, and maybe consider suicide periodically. I always say that always helps a lot. If you could do that, I think you'd be great.
Great.
Welcome to the real world, brother. I understand.
Oh, and we're in the middle of our No Strings Attached E-News Online Film Festival, so I'm also the executive producer for that. And Janice is on the board with me.
Wow.
In between the film fest, in between that and the film projects I have, it's different than comedy. Now, this is one thing I thought about talking to you today about, because you're going to get this really good. Acting is opposite of comedy in some ways. Here's the way. When you get a show, when you know you're booked at a comedy club, man, what do? You start shouting that thing all over social media. Now, when you get booked as an actor, you can't say anything. So I've got a lot of projects right now I can't say a word about, because that's how that world is. They don't want anything spread. I've got non-disclosure stuff I've signed on some of these things. So I can't say anything. Which is, I understand it because I'm a content creator too. But then again, on the other side, I'm going, I could probably get some more comedy gigs if they knew what was going on. But I can't tell anybody,
Yeah,
so
the only time we can do certain... Right sometimes you sign, you go on with an NDA, for those people who don't know, a non-disclosure agreement. You really can't discuss. A lot of people always ask, "Hey, what are you doing? How are you doing this? What can you tell me what's happening here?" And it's not that I'm being an ass. I just tell them I can't really discuss it. When I try to do stuff, and people always want to find out about tours and they want to find out about other things, I keep telling them. I said, "I'm sorry, I can't really discuss that with you." Or I tell them, I said, "Be patient. News is coming," and that's all you really can do. And that's the one sad thing. I guess the social media has made it where you can allow to say things and do certain things, but sometimes they're just going to have to take your word for it. Then when they see it, they go, "Oh, that's what you were working on." And I'm sure all your fans who are listening right now to Brian, to be able to have that No Strings Attached E-News thing with a film festival, and it's your second year too. That's even great, man. I got to tell you, I'm impressed. And you know what, brother? You got my number. You know how to get a hold of me at my office, and I hope to goodness you actually come back on the show. You've been a fantastic guest, and I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being part of this. Janice, do you have any other questions you want to ask Brian?
No, I just want to say thanks for introducing us, Brian. That was cool.
That was very, very cool. Janice got a chance to see my show in Reno.
Yes.
And it was great. And after, I woke her up after my show. She was very...
I was only yawning a little bit. Come on.
Just, But for those of you who are listening right now, thank you, Brian, for so much for being part of the Pinch of Basile podcast. And for all of you out there, I want to let you know that on Friday night, I'll be in Annapolis, Maryland. August 31st is the 2nd. I'll be in Washington, D.C. for the Panama Carrying Convention. September 8th, I'll be in concert in Clearwater, Florida. And follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Basile Fans, BASILEFANS. And you can always find out where we're at basilelive.com. Listen, that's really about it, folks. For those of you who are listening, we're closing this bad boy up. And I want to thank you all for listening. And don't forget, we love you. You're listening to A Pinch of Basile podcast.